Langston Hughes once asked, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? Or does it end up a spicy older lady in a retirement community?" That last part was my addition. Back at Legacy, I met Miss Charlotte Butcher. From childhood, Miss Butcher was an aspiring fashion designer. Her parents agreed to let her pursue her interest in that area, but wanted her to go to college to get a bachelor's degree before going to design school. Not necessarily the path Miss Butcher would have wanted.
When I was a child, I sat and designed dresses all the time, and I played with paper dolls. And that's what I thought I wanted to do. So when I got a little older and I discussed it with my parents, may I go to design school? No, we want you to go to college and get an education first. Then after that, if you want to go, we'll send you to the design school. Needless to say, I never got there.
In college, she became distracted.
Now there's where I made a very bad mistake. I went to college when college was more like a lot of fun rather than serious education.
She suddenly found herself interested in partying and being with friends instead of making serious decisions about school in the future. As she stated,
it interfered with my fun in the afternoon, and I made some very bad mistakes there.
Derailed, she graduated with a bachelor's in economics, a subject she had no interest in. She described her degree as useless. Upon graduating, her boyfriend proposed to her. They had little time as he was soon deploying for war. She said yes, but perhaps too quickly. While living apart from her newlywed husband, she had difficulty finding a job. No one would hire an army wife for fear she would quit after her husband returned. She eventually found a position in a department store to hold her over for a few years, and when her husband returned, she accepted a job as a teacher, but shortly thereafter discovered her pregnancy, limiting her possibilities of continuing a career. Soon after, her husband went to college to become a dentist. Ironically enough, Miss Butcher had a lifelong fear of dentists, but wishing to support her husband, she encouraged his endeavors. In raising her daughter, and with little choice of her own, she became her husband's bookkeeper. She worked in the office with her husband, and she hated it. Yet, that's exactly what she did until she retired. There's much to be learned from Miss Butcher's story.
I made a lot of mistakes.
When I asked what her purpose was, she stated she did not live her purpose, but instead, her husband's. She had sacrificed much of her life for him. Furthermore, she allowed her era to define her. She emphasized a number of times the liberty with which women are unable to live today. Had she lived her early adult life today, it's possible her circumstances might look quite different. We should think beyond the mindset we inherit. Too easily, we stifle our potential by the expectations of our culture. And while Miss Butcher doesn't regret sacrificing much of her life for her husband, I found her recollection of the past interesting. She recalled certain days, weekends, and trips over the years she'd spent in the office. She hated her job. She lived for the weekend, leaving her with pleasant memories of only small portions of her life. But how do people live with deferred dreams?